Next thing, how fast can you close the deal? Now we are talking about commercial, okay? If just a regular office condo, for example, ranging from, anything from a few $100,000 to $1 million. So this type of loan is pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Um, of course, it depending on how fast the client will willing to work with us. Oftentimes, remember, we are dealing with business owners. They are very busy. The most important part, the most difficult part to get a loan done is to get the documentations we needed to get the loan to go to closing. So if the client is not providing the documentation to us, pretty much there's nothing we can do about it. So we all we can do just to pound on it, and just keep pushing forward. So assuming the client is very cooperate, cooperative, and sending us every time when we ask for documentation, they will send it to us. So normally for such loan, we are talking about anywhere between 30 to 45 days, we can get it done. Okay. Now moving on to some bigger projects, apartments, retails, hotels, those will take much longer. It's just because there's a lot of variables associated with underwriting that loan. Okay. And oftentimes with big projects like this, believe me, we will always find something that the client does not know. Perhaps they have a mechanic's lien. Perhaps they have a loan that they already pay off, but they somehow, somewhat, they forgot to record it with the county. So the lien is still on the property. There are so many reasons for a loan to get delayed. So how fast can we get it close from our perspective as a broker? This is our job, right? So once we receive the documentation, we will process it immediately. Same as the lender, same thing as any third party report. So that's another thing, third party report. We need to order an appraisal. Okay. If the property is in a metropolitan area, we might be able to find an appraisal pretty quickly, and they can go out to do the loan pretty quick, to do the appraisal report pretty quickly. But however, if the property is in a rural area, it might take some time for the lender to identify uh, an appraiser. And in some cases, I mean, we just closed a land deal in Houston. It took for a whole week. There's nobody taking up that order in that area. So we end up have to ask the client to refer some appraiser to us, to use those appraisers to go out there. So again, all those are the unknown variables that we have to deal with on a regular basis to get the loan done. Okay. So count on us. We do whatever it takes to push this thing as fast as we can. But of course, we also need the client's help also.
Yeah, Alan, if I could inject
Right.
just real quick.
Next question. Oh, sure,
Alan.
sure, George, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that one of the questions that we should ask and we'll always be mindful of is how fast you need to close, because even though the general overall estimate, I would say 30 to 45 days, there have been some cases where someone had to close within a week or 2 weeks or whatever the case is. And if we know that deadline is looming, we have lenders that can close quickly and can move fast. And so a good practice would be to find out exactly when the deal has to close. And also that leads to what Alan was talking about earlier with regards to risk and interest. You know, if you need to close quickly, they can't expect to pay a lower rate. They're going to pay a higher rate. And the LTV may not be as great, but we still can get some of these things done. So there are some situations that we've closed deals very fast. We can bypass sometimes the appraisal. It's not a common thing, but we can. But again, just to keep in mind, sometimes it's good to ask when that deadline is. And once we know about it, like Alan said, we move to push it as fast as we can. But it is a good practice to ask that question.
Yes. Thank you, George.